Hey, this is Robert Smith. I'm here in Habilitat, and thanks to Jeff, and we're here. I think all of us are here except for Robin, who had an accident, and he's definitely a tapper for sure. I don't know what to say about it. I guess you know a little bit more about it than I do. Yeah, so let me have the microphone and I'll hand it to him. So just tell a little bit more about what happened, I guess.
Yeah, Robin was at the beach, and we were in the water in an area that had some pretty big waves, and he had an accident. The wave tumbled him, and he landed on his neck or head, and injured his spinal cord, had some damage, and we ended up pulling him out of the water. Ambulance came. We went to the hospital. Luckily, he didn't break anything, didn't have any torn tissue. And we tapped from the moment we got him up on the beach. We had some other therapists there. Linda was there. She said, "You're not dying on my watch." He was completely paralyzed from the neck down. No feeling at all. He had a little bit of blood on his mouth from something, and I think it was his sinuses. But anyhow, we tapped from the moment we got him up on the sand, all the trauma he was going through, experiencing numbness. You know, he was there a moment there. Oh, of course, Laura actually jumped into the water with her clothes on and assisted pulling him out. As tackling waves at the same time. It was big waves. Anyhow, so we went from the beach, we went into the ambulance. I rode with him to the hospital, tapping the whole way, all the trauma, all the sounds, all the equipment sounds in the hospital or the ambulance. We got to the hospital, same thing, ER room. They're putting tubes in all over the place, and they're saying scary things, and we're tapping the whole time. And eventually had some x-rays and CAT scans, and looked like nothing broken. So, and his attitude was positive, really courageous, just a trooper. No negativity at all. We continued working up until in his room. We worked for the next day, pretty much on issues. And, yeah, lots and lots of tapping. And he went from completely paralyzed to being able to walk with assistance after one day and fully walking on his own after 2 days. Every single doctor, every nurse, everybody that came into the room, he taught everybody how to tap. And he said, the rule is you're going to be tapped on. If you come into this room, you're going to tap on me at least once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I appreciate the extra time, but that's the rule. You got to tap on me. And he kept the rule. He made everybody do it. Even had he missed the neurosurgeon the first time, but he came back the second time and he got him. And his attitude was just stellar, and it showed. He made huge improvements. The second day he was walking by himself, and he went from nothing in his hand to being able to move his hand like that, and with quite about 4 inches of movement. So the FasterEFT was what we used and what we taught in the hospital. The doctors know about it now.
But they still wanted to operate, didn't they?
They wanted, yeah. They were saying, yeah, we could operate if you want. glad I was there, because they sounded pretty convincing. They sounded like he needed it, but there's nothing to, no surgery. There's nothing to surge, So, so a little bit of inflammation. I think he's going to be doing better. He's just extremely. He's just a great example. He's using this FasterEFT. He wanted everybody to know that this was the best week of his entire life. He's had some huge shifts and changes. Yeah. Pieces come together, and he thanks everybody. And
yeah, I don't remember which guy that he worked on, and he brought him in. And of course, Robin's sitting here, and I'm doing the interview, and you look back, he had tears in his eye because of the big changes that this guy had because of what Robin had done. I don't remember who it was. You remember which guy that was? How many of you were here? But he was so excited about the changes he helped somebody with, too.
Yeah, I saw him in the outside. I saw him outside after he'd done that, and I went up to him and said, "How are you going, Robin?" And he said, and he was just emotional. I said, "Are you okay?" Because, he'd had a few tough times. And he said, "No, I'm just so happy. I made so many changes. It was so amazing. And it was the best experience of my life. I'd helped this person to overcome their stuff." And I just gave him the biggest hug. I said, "You've done such a great job." And he said to think that the first day he wanted to leave. He wanted to,
really?
Yeah, he wanted to run because he didn't think he was good enough to do it. But he did amazing job.
Oh yeah, I think several of the guys that he worked on came in. They
Yeah,
I
he
tested
did a great
everything.
job.
He did a good job.
Yeah. And I said to him at that time, I said, see, you would have missed that opportunity if you'd run, but you didn't. You stuck with it, and you made it.
Yeah, very good. I'm just kind of curious, how was your experience? We'll
Mine?
start with you. Yeah.
Oh, it's been magnificent. I've just loved every minute of it. And I was even sick yesterday. I had a bit of something or other, heat stroke, gastro, I don't know what in the heck I had, but that hasn't stopped me. I've picked myself up, did a bit of tapping today, and off I went again like a trooper. And I worked on a guy tonight who was, you know, he was still stuck in his stuff, and he made a big change. You know, I just didn't let him go until I'd 3-hour session, but I still hammered on his head. And
so before you came in, you know,
Yeah.
of course, you know, I sent the videos for you
Yeah.
to watch, and the tests and the protocols and all that. And,
Yeah.
what did you think about all this? You got all these videos, you got all this stuff to watch, and then you're going to come to habilitat.
I suppose I felt, oh my God, am I putting myself in the deep end? But I knew that this would help me to change as a practitioner, to give me that confidence that I need to continue to do this work, because this is what I really love, and I love to see people change. And I think the protocols that we've learnt here, I'm going to be using those more and more in just everyday stuff, you know, that I need to work on with people, because they're going to work with everyone. And I've loved the new knowledge and the new wisdoms that I've learned, and also working with these amazing practitioners. Every single one of you have helped me as well, and I love you all. Thank you.
So what was the highlights? You worked on a lot of people, you saw a lot of changes, and you're sitting in here and you're hearing, you see the before, you see the after. Which one really?
I had a really great night Wednesday night. I was on top of the world. I'd had 3 amazing sessions. Yeah, that will be with me forever, because I went to bed on the biggest high, and I thought, this is it. This is where I'm at. And ever since then, I've been wanting to get back there, because I haven't quite got back there. But tonight, I'm sort of getting back there again.
Because, you know, we had Shannon.
Oh yeah.
You remember Shannon? She was she was addicted. I mean,
Wow,
her
was
heart was
she?
pounding through her chest, and I showed her the fake drugs, and she was.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had to do 2 sessions with her on those drugs. I mean, really. And when I chatted with you about it as well, and then you said, well, try this instead. So I tried that, and it worked. The second time, it really worked.
What you're doing,
it's refining my
Because what you're
skills.
doing, you was doing the parts and piece.
Yeah.
I said, go in there, you get them completely associated, do it in their mind, and then hit them with the quick tap.
Yeah.
And
it made a big difference.
Yeah.
And I was able to address a lot more as well.
And go faster.
Yeah, a lot faster.
Very good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was
what about some of the PPP, pick, poke, and
Oh
provoking?
yeah, I've been loving that. I've been like a Jack Russell, way getting into it. No, I love it. It's
Very
really
good.
good. It's really
Very
good. It's
good.
fun. Okay.
Hey, Kim.
Hey.
So how about you? You know, here it is. You know, you work in the drug industry. I mean, you're in rehabilitation, and of course, we sent the videos, we sent all this stuff, and you missed the first round, and then this is the second round.
Yeah, I missed the first round, and I was really disappointed that I didn't get to come the first time. And all the videos came, and I was working, and I was struggling to get the videos done. The book didn't come till it was late, and I was freaking out. And I have to say, though, I started reading Vinny's book, and I was like, oh, God, this guy, this is great. I loved his story, and I loved where he came from in beginning habilitat, and that really hit close to home for me. So by the time I arrived here, I can't lie, I felt really intimidated. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be good enough to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to help anybody. And I think the very first person I got to tap on got pulled out of a meeting. And I wasn't supposed to be tapping on her that night, and I brought her into the library and tapped on her. And just to see that shift, she's fairly new here, and to see the shift in her. And the next morning I got up to go to breakfast, and she pulled me aside, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's just gone. I can't feel those feelings no matter what. And it just was really gratifying. And I think one of the real highlights for me is like what Kim said, being able to work with all of you guys, and those first few days, feeling everybody's nervousness, and we're all comparing notes. It was just fantastic comparing the notes, coming up with the that induction protocol that we came up with. And I remember sitting in a room with one of the first people I worked with and thought, oh, you know what? I can go home and do this at my job, and they won't even know it's FasterEFT. Because what most people don't know is I almost got fired for tapping at my job. So it was really exciting to think I can do this, and the clients don't even need to know that it's EFT, and I can help them let go of their stuff. And that to me is one of the highlights of going. So I can now go home and I can use it, and no one has to know that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you won't get in trouble for it.
And I won't get in trouble, and I can continue to change lives. Because for me, for a long time now, that's what really lights me up, is helping people change. It lights me up, sets my heart on fire, and I love doing that. So to go to my job every day and feel like I'm twiddling my thumbs and watching them going nowhere, it's very frustrating for me. So, yeah.
Very good. Very good. And you have done a great job. Thank you so much for organizing all this and getting us in the right places and handling the desk and dealing with Jeff and dealing with me. She did a great job.
Thanks, guys.
And I'll tell you another thing, too. You cannot overlook the great work that Deirdre McGuire has done with all this stuff. And Dave, in the book that he put together for us,
That's
and the
right,
protocols that he's done. Thank
It's
you
been
guys.
a fantastic team, and I feel very privileged to work with every single one of you guys.
Yeah. It's been good. Very good. How about you?
Well,
Tell the truth.
Okay,
The
I'll
whole
try
truth.
to. I won't lie on camera, okay? The most exciting thing for me, really, is with the clients I've worked with, is having these, like, big guys. They have the rough exterior, but when you get in there and you start tapping, it's like you just see a whole different side of them. And then when you see, like, they're so addicted, they don't want to give it up. And then I have to say, I haven't really done much of putting the bad stuff on it. But when they do the bad stuff, and then they can't even think of the drug without wanting to vomit. That has been really amazing to see the change so fast within a couple hours session. When they go in, they don't want to give it up, or if they do, they can't, and then it's gone. So that to me is amazing. And I have to say that the clients I've worked with, I just think are just incredible people, and they just got, in the drugs, and it kind of ruined their life.
I would say more about Laura. She, the very first time I met her was in Las Vegas, and I went to Matrix Reimprinting and to share FasterEFT, and I pulled Laura up and did some tapping and reimprinting, and apparently FasterEFT reimprinting, not Matrix Reimprinting.
Right.
And I guess apparently it convinced you.
That was the thing that convinced me, because I probably wouldn't have ever done it if you didn't work on me, to be honest.
Yeah. And then she came to training level 1, 2, and 3, and she pestered the hell out of me. She wanted to come. And then she wrote me a letter, and she said, I guess God didn't want me to come. And I said, okay. Okay, well, God told me to tell you to come, so which God are you praying to,
Okay, and I would like to add that he has not stopped teasing me the whole time. And I just want you to know it didn't really bug me that bad.
Debbie. So, again, you're here. You're level 4.
Yes, I am.
The only level 4 practitioner here right now.
Yes.
And, of course, you, same thing. What do you think about before you came?
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I'd be able to do it. The test was scary. I read the book on Christmas Day, and then I didn't do the test till on the plane coming here because I was working another job, and I just didn't have time. And it was just like, I was terrified. I really was. I was terrified about sharing a room with a bunch of women that I didn't know.
I think we all were.
But after a day, that was gone. Yeah. So it's all the terror was just gone, But I'd have to say I think my most amazing session had to been with Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
this
you
man.
now remember, you can feel free to share his story.
Okay.
I mean, because he gives us the right. He's on YouTube, so share.
Well, Kevin had, he's a little bit older than some of the guys here, and he had been carrying the loss of losing his brother for over 25 years. He had been in habilitat one other time, and his brother died while he was in here, and then when he got out, he relapsed. And so we went in and cleaned that up, flipped that memory, and I mean, he just, you know, he thought he had dealt with all of it. He just couldn't believe. But just the transformation in his face, it just went from the hardened features to just this softness, and it's really hard to describe. And I saw that in more than one person, but I mean, he was laughing and he was smiling and just so excited. And several of the other clients here have said, you know, mentioned about how different Kevin is and how happy he is. Yeah. And, you know, to be a part of that, there's just, you know, it was just, if that was the only person I tapped on it, the whole trip would have been worth just that.
And his testimony is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, he called Robert a crazy ass redneck. So anyway, but no, that was the highlight of the trip. But it was all wonderful, and you know,
So the protocol, FasterEFT protocol, they help you a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday night, we sat down and Jeff went over, because a lot of us, I mean, we didn't, you know, we're not drug users, and we didn't know how this stuff works, you know, what goes with what, and I mean, he just pretty much, and it was kind of like drug paraphernalia 101. But that really helped a lot, and, you know, having the stuff, handing it to him makes so much difference.
Yeah. So that really is very important too, to understand that we don't know much about drugs at all.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know anything. And we come in here with almost no understanding about drugs. We're using a process, a system, and we're making big changes. I mean, it is big. And the way it's set up, the protocol, the questions, and going in there and making changes. So, and by the way, it's so powerful. You can apply it in any area, any problem, anywhere, not just drugs.
Yeah. And we've cleared a lot of grief and loss this week too. A lot. You know.
Yeah, it's one of the major issues. Yeah. Trauma as well.
Yeah. But I love all these gals, my roomies.
We love you too.
Yeah, and all the other practitioners too. But it's been a great experience, and thank Jeff for having us here and the hospitality that everyone's shown us. And
yeah, that's very good. It's very exciting.
Been a wonderful experience.
So what about you? I know that you watched the videos. You read the book.
Yeah.
You were scared too?
No. No, I wasn't scared. I just tapped and knew that it'd be okay and that I could do it.
It's the
work
smartest
out.
one in the room.
I just went with my instinct, and you know, there's a few moments when I had my doubts, but after we did all the training, we all sat down together. I figured the only thing to do is get in there and do your best, and that's all you can do. Like Deirdre says, you can do your best. That's all you can do. And I say that to them, the clients, when I start tapping, and to myself. Yeah. And that's
so what was the highlight?
Oh, there's been so many. I've tapped on so many people. It's just.
I'm just kind of curious too. How many hours do you think you put in? And
I couldn't even tell you. Kim and I were sick for one day, so we missed a day there. But we're going to put in extra hours to make up. I don't know. We tapped solidly for 4 days.
4 days. 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, sometimes 2 or 3 sessions a day.
Yeah.
So it's been. Yeah, it just depends. And tapping on each other as well, so that we, you know, shifting stuff that comes up in the other practitioners, which is one of the best things about FasterEFT, not having to hold that stuff inside you. And also listening to the stories are amazing. So to keep that from actually going inside myself. I just took it that they were telling me a movie they'd seen,
Yeah.
that it was something they'd actually seen on a screen, and it wasn't necessarily true. They just remembered it and were relaying a movie to me, so I didn't take on all that trauma myself, and I could just let it go. So I just see it as being a film.
And that's a major part of the belief system of FasterEFT. Their stories aren't real. It's a fantasy. It's something that happened a long time ago, which is true.
Yeah.
And just like when I look at a client, when a client comes to see me, I know that none of it's true. And when I get done with the session, I try to make sure none of it's true and rewrite the story for them. Because again, you know, as I teach, is that if you internalize this stuff, it becomes your problem, it becomes a reality for you, and you don't need that kind of reality.
Yeah, and that's good because it stops us burning out as well.
Exactly.
We've heard some horrific stories, you know, and the death and the dying. And the man I worked on today, Patrick, his father died when he was 7, and he didn't recognise the link between him taking drugs because his father died at 7. And so now I put into his head that he's got a daughter, and linked the fact that his daughter doesn't want to grow up without a dad because he knows what it felt like. So he took that in, and you know, he had the choice at the end of driving in the bus full of drugs or going and looking after his daughter, and he chose his daughter. So job done, I think.
Very good.
Good outcome. Yeah. And also a big thanks to Jeff Nash for letting us come here and sharing this experience, and all the residents here. They are a big family. They're wonderful.
Very good.
They've made us feel so welcome. They've been so respectful and kind, I think. And to see that's not what I was expecting at all. I don't know what I was expecting. Not that amount of respect for each other and for us. You know, I think we've been very lucky that we've seen that side of people that have been written off by society, and they've come back.
Yeah, this is really a great place because Jeff has worked so hard to say, you're responsible, you take control of your mind, you change the memories, you work hard, you do what's right, and you stand up for what's right. You know, you're a family too. And so this environment is definitely ripe for FasterEFT, because their belief system is the same basic belief system. And so that makes it definitely a whole lot different than probably other facilities as well.
Yeah, all I want to do is take habilitat back to Australia with me and help some of the people I work with over there now. So one day, fingers crossed,
Very good.
it'll happen. And just thanks to all the other practitioners. Thanks for being there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey Keith, all the way from Australia. So what about you? You know, here you are. You know, I put the post out. Hey, I'm going to bring some practitioners to habilitat. So what did you think?
Well, I was very excited at the opportunity to come, and for many reasons. I think that I've worked with a lot of people over a long period of time with tapping, not just FasterEFT but EFT prior to that. And so I wanted to work with a different sort of people. I wanted to do something that might have some international impact. And so it was very exciting for me to have the opportunity to come. So that was my first thought about it. And of course that's been, my expectations about that have been more than exceeded, really. Working with a great team of people, it's been fantastic. And it's good to have some guys. You know, there's not a lot of guys doing this stuff. So it's been nice to work with some guys as well. And also, you know, have something in common. We can talking the same language. You know, I don't have many people in my everyday life that I can talk to about this who are not going to think I'm a bit weird. So it's nice to be around people with the same weirdness. And you know, be accepted in that. So so that was really good.
You know, a question, because this is a common question I get. You've been doing EFT for 10 years or more. And how many of you actually were using EFT before FasterEFT, in a big scale? So how long were you?
It's been 6 years.
6 years with EFT, and you've been 10. And the rest of you were not? Oh, interesting. So you know EFT, and you've been doing FasterEFT for how long?
3 years.
3 years. What's the biggest difference? Because people always want to know. They watch this video, FasterEFT. What is FasterEFT? What's the difference from a person who's been doing it for 10 years?
It's simple, it's quick, it's easy to use, and the changes are easier to see in the person, and you know you've done the job. With EFT, and EFT has been fantastic, and I think it's a wonderful process. But sometimes I was never sure whether I really got the problem solved or not. With FasterEFT, I always know whether I've got it or not. And I know, if I haven't, well, I just keep on going until I have. I was never always so certain with EFT. So I think the certainty of it, the simplicity of it, and having more recently taught FasterEFT to a group of people, it's easier to teach and people are more likely to use it. I think that with EFT it was a bit complicated. There's so many tapping points, so many phrases, so many weird things about it, whereas EFT is very simple, straightforward, and it's really readily acceptable.
FasterEFT.
FasterEFT,
yeah. And also, you said you just finished a FasterEFT and you got a responses.
Yeah, well, I've been teaching EFT since 2003, and back then I was running workshops every 6 weeks. So I've taught a lot of people over a period. So I ran my first FasterEFT workshop in November, and without exception every participant sent me an email saying how much they loved the workshop, how much they got out of it, how easy it was. And they were just raving about it. And, I've had the odd email from each workshop. I'll get one or two people that say, hey, that was great. But every single person without exception at the FasterEFT workshop said how good it was.
Very good.
And it's really easy to demonstrate because I know that whatever the person comes up with, I can deal with it in front of an audience and it's going to be dealt with and it's not a problem.
Yeah. You actually see a change.
Yeah. People can't fail to be impressed by it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can do it no content. You can do it a lot of different ways with it, and I think that's the value of FasterEFT. There's so many ways of doing things.
Absolutely.
And you're taught in a lot of different ways on how to process individuals.
Yeah. And I think here this week it really complemented the habilitat way of helping people, and it'd be really good, I think, to see people here trained to use it, because I think anyone that graduates from here needs to have a FasterEFT session before they leave.
Definitely.
To deal with the emotional driver of their addiction.
Definitely, especially addressing that, the triggers and the emotional pieces and the tie to the drug and all the stuff around it. So if it's not there, there's no way that they're going to go back, because the first thing they think of when they think about their drug is, what? What are they going to think of? First thing, what's one of them? Dead
rotting flesh.
Rotting flesh.
Rotting flesh.
Slugs. So I will never use again, and I'll never change my mind.
Absolutely.
Very good. Good job. Deirdre McGuire, this is your second round?
Yeah, well, yes, I was very fortunate to be trailblazing on the first episode here at Habilitat, and we achieved a lot. Remember the first day when we really had no idea what we were going to do, and how it took shape and took form. And by the end of the week, we could see that we were having a significant impact on the residents in Habilitat. And then we put together a protocol, and Jeff and I did a session, and we used all the various bits and pieces that come with drugs. And it was so impactful, and we got very, very excited and said, well, now the next time we'll have to use this. And so I was very excited about coming back. And then my own personal life took a bit of a detour, and it seemed like I wasn't going to be able to be here. And so I had, at a point when I was at probably the most challenging time of my life, and there I was, parked in Ireland, and I could see all this going on over in Habilitat. And I probably made one of the biggest decisions I've ever made to actually come here, and but I knew, the part of me that knew that being surrounded by like-minded people is one of the most important things, and for healing, it really, really is. And I do consider that just like there is a family in Habilitat, the same model operates now in FasterEFT, and I really do consider that the FasterEFT is a family. And I don't know whether it's cultish or not, but I don't care very much, because it has absolutely saved my life, and I love it. And I think that's really what a lot of us want. We really just want to belong. And guess what? We've got a family, and we've actually got a very healthy family. And it's the family, I think, that we always wanted. And it's very, very exciting to be a part of it, and to know that it's just growing and getting bigger. And to have been able to, interestingly for me, this week, you know, I was coming and I was going to sort it all and organise it all and do all that, and it actually had to go to the opposite end of the spectrum for me, where I had to ask for help. And so I got on the plane, came 12,000 miles, and that was a whole other story on its own. But when I got here, I wasn't here 10 minutes till I had 3 people tapping on me. And, you know, not even time to sleep. And I didn't want it. It was exactly what I needed. And I'm so proud of myself that I had the courage to do it. But the biggest part of it was being able to get the support that I needed to make the decisions that I needed to make. And so I feel very, very privileged and honoured and blessed and lucky and grateful. And to have been able to watch this week, I was actually kind of standing a wee bit back and watching it all unfold, and to see it just going to a new level. I'm very privileged and lucky to be a master practitioner, and I know a lot. But this week I saw FasterEFT going to an absolutely new level. You know, these are hardened drug addicts here. And Jeff and I were discussing that, and you know, just how tough you need to be, because these people are very, very sophisticated in staying out of their emotions. Yeah. And we cracked it. We cracked them. We had them in tears. We broke through it with our FasterEFT protocol. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And I just feel so excited about it going to the next level, watching the testimonials, watching the before and after. Incredible, incredible changes. I was just working tonight, and that's the other thing, that I had to take care of myself first. I was so itching to get working, and I had to do what I needed to do to take care of myself, and all the support that I had with it. But then this evening, working on a teacher, and that's what I was. And a very intelligent, very articulated man like myself, and
you look like a man to me.
And just watching us disintegrating and crumbling his system that he's been operating out of for 30 years. 30 years that man's been doing drugs, and just to see the tears coming to his eyes and breaking through and find, you know, the diamond that is in him, was just a privilege and an honour. And so it's so exciting to, you know, to be a part of this, and to have everybody here from all over the world, and to be able to know that it's going to go to the next level.
It is,
and
definitely.
It's great crack, and I'm really looking forward to more and more of it.
Yeah,
And,
I think one of the big advancements is, you know, because always when we did it before, I didn't know much about drugs, and I would have them do the drug in their head because we didn't have the mock-up. And of course that was the first time that we actually had mock-up, and it was really perfect. And so I think next time we come, everybody's going to have their own kit.
Absolutely.
And when they sign up, we want to tick what it is they use, and each person will have exactly what they need, so we'll get in there and clean it up. I think this is, and the way Kim has really organized everything and handled everything, she did a great job. I mean, made it easy. I know it was a little bit of work on your part, but You did a really great job.
Thank you. I just want to suggest next time, can we also get some parsley?
Why, it looks like,
Pot.
oh, it looks like pot, yeah. Yeah, well,
Hell, we'll just get
that's,
the pot.
that's Jeff, that's Jeff's,
Parsley.
that would get Jeff's job and make it all look perfect, like it's a real mock-up. We got to have some Jack Daniels, we got to have some Crown Royal, we got the cheap, and pill bottles.
Yeah,
Some Red
yeah.
Bull. We get some Red Bull.
Red Bull, no, or Monster, which is,
Yeah, the other thing that came to my mind during the week was however we can implement that we leave FasterEFT here for
Yeah.
the residents.
yeah.
Whatever that, however
Yeah.
that will unfold.
Because some of the guys we worked with 7 months ago, they said they used it for a while and then they just kind of forgot. It needs to be like implemented, trained, and because it works. I mean, the guy says, I know it works, I used it, and then all of a sudden I kind of forgot about it. So, I mean, most of us, we use it on a daily basis. We know it works.
Yeah.
And that's what, if we get people to use it on a daily basis, their life is going to be better. I mean, we hit the big stuff. They still have more stuff. They still have more pieces that need to be worked on.
Well, it's just interesting now that the collective consciousness in the group will now manifest more of FasterEFT within habilitat because it's gaining momentum and it's gaining credence and everything else. So it can only get better.
It's because we tapped on over half, isn't that right?
Over 70% of the population got tapped on, which is fantastic. And I would say at least half got at least 2 sessions.
Yeah.
So
And we
that's-
put over 240, around 240 hours.
240, yeah, over 240 hours today, and we have tomorrow to go and the next day.
Yeah.
So,
So that's really great.
And just to say thank you so much to Jeff for
Yeah.
making us feel so welcome and taking care of every single need and
Yeah.
everything that we wanted, we got taken care of. So very, very
right.
grateful for all of that.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
And the lady from Spain, who sounds like a Scottish woman.
That's because I am.
So here it is. You saw the posting on Facebook. We're going to habilitat.
Yep. And here I am. And I watched the videos and I was very excited to come. I wasn't scared until I got here. No, I was really excited and I knew that it was going to be a life-changing experience for me and hopefully for everybody that I worked with. The first few days for me were, they were a bit tough. The first couple of days I did find a bit tough. I did feel inadequate. I thought, what am I doing here? I shouldn't be here. I'm not good enough. And I tapped and everybody else tapped on me. And thank you guys because it really, really helped. And the biggest thing for me, I think, is how we've all been accepted as part of the habilitat family. Yeah. Because that's what these guys are here. They are a big family and they all support each other. And I think Jeff and his staff do a fantastic job in supporting them. And they do have the same belief system as us, and that's what makes it so easy to incorporate FasterEFT into it. The protocol that we've been using is amazing. And I now know that I can go back and I can use that on anybody that comes to me. I can adapt it and use it, and it will work every single time. Might take a while for some people, but eventually we'll get there. Yeah. And obviously, Robert, this week, I've said to you, I've seen so many changes. Everything's evolved. It's all changing so fast and just getting better and better and better. And I'm just really, really grateful to have been part of it this week.
So now when somebody comes to see you with a chocolate addiction,
yeah,
you know how to
problem.
do it.
Absolutely, no problem. In fact, today was probably, I've had a couple of sessions with people that have really, really touched me, and I know that I've made some big changes and I felt really, really good about it. But today I had a session with a 44-year-old man who told me that he did not know and had never known any happiness in his life. And after I worked with him, he found some. And he turned around and he went, "You got it. There it is." And he left me with a smile on his face and he opened his heart. And that, just like Debbie said, if I never done anything else this week, it was worth coming just for that, because I know that I've made a big difference to that man's life.
I saw the before. He was angry. He was hurt.
He was,
And he came back. He was a different man. He had the peace. The anger's gone. And it was good.
For me, that was worth coming for.
Definitely. Big life changes.
And thank you to you guys, everybody, and you too, Robert.
Thank you.
For all your organisation and everything else.
I am very organized, and I organize the right people to handle it.
I know we've had to clean up a bit after you this week, but thank you for everything that you've done too.
Very good.
And thank you, Rumies.
You're welcome. And how about the movies? We did movie night. We watched some videos. We showed you what not to do, how to clean up, to cut out a lot of riffraff. Just get to the point. And watching some of the stuff, and so was that helpful?
Oh, definitely. I think for all of us, I think I can speak for everybody, that as practitioners, we're the best you've got after this week. I think we can honestly say that.
We can honestly say that too.
I really do.
Yeah. Well, he told me that he was only bringing his best here anyway.
Yeah, but after this week.
Except for a couple of you know who you are.
I think we all feel so much more confident.
Yeah.
We know that we can go out there and we can use what we've learned this week. And I don't know about anybody else, but I think I do speak for all of us. We can take on the world now.
Very good. Good job.
If I may, I wanted to mention one of the highlights of the last week and a half for me was the new process that we've integrated, the before interviews and the after interviews. That's just been profound. Like some of the sessions, I wasn't even sure how effective I was. I wasn't really sure, but I heard before them, seeing the paraphernalia and going, oh yeah, I'm triggered. Just seeing it on their face, and on a scale of 0 to 10, it being a 10 or an 8. Really being triggered, and then afterwards, being asked, "How was your session?" They're like, "Wow, I was just blown away." And I was a little bit doubtful, that anything had actually shifted or to my expectations. And then lo and behold, showing being exposed to the paraphernalia again, they don't have a reaction, or they want to vomit.
That's true.
Or they start dry heaving or something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
And that's a big change. And given that evidence and proof, that really helped boost my confidence and being able to see it.
A couple of the things, one of the questions I asked in the survey, I said, all right, here you are, you graduated, you have no legal problems, and somebody will pull up in the truck, and in the back of the truck is all the drugs you could ever use and sell, and they throw you the keys. And the one that was most funny said, "Where's the registration?"
That was Edwina. Do you remember her? That was her before. Robert said to her, "Okay, so if you've got this truck and it's full of drugs and they throw you the keys, what will you do?" And she sat and she went, I'd ask them for the title. We were all like, what?
What does that mean? The registration for the vehicle.
For the vehicle.
She didn't want just the keys because it may be a stolen truck or something. I don't know.
But can I just say now, because I worked on Edwina twice, and both times I walked out of those sessions feeling like, really, do I know what I'm doing? Because this is, I didn't think we got anywhere. In the second session, a couple times, it'd be at a 10, we'd get it down to 0. I'd go, okay, great. We'd move on to something else. I'd go back and show it to her. It was back up at a 10. We'd move it down again. We'd move on. Came in here, Robert asked her, so are you addicted? And she goes, no. And he showed it to her, and she was like, yeah, 10. But what I did notice about this particular person was, while we might not have been able to get rid of that driver, which I think we've taken some of it off, she looked happier.
Yes.
When you made eye contact with her, she was actually making eye contact back. I walked into the dining room one morning, and she actually said, "Good morning, Kim." And I went, "Oh, Edwina, how are you?"
Exactly.
So there are changes happening in her.
Actually.
And she's
Before,
talking.
she's always walking around like, so something's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, and that's, I think we've all said it, when you start to see those changes, that's what really lights us up. It really makes all the difference. It has just been fantastic to be able to be a part of it. So,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
thanks a lot, Jeff, for having us and taking care of us, and thanks, Robert, for getting us here. It's
Very
been
good.
great.
It's been good. Anything else? No?
Well, I just I really appreciate the evolution of the process. I think we've really brought some new, interesting concepts and brought it to a new level. And I think this keep it going, this evolution.
So how's it different now? You were here last time. How's it different now?
Bigger changes, noticeable changes with the residents. Just being able to test them afterwards to see where they've been, that's just huge. And it allows me to judge where I need to push myself. So if I don't get the right feedback that I was looking for, if they're not repulsed by the drug, then it kind of allows me to make adjustments and kind of refine what I do with the people that I work with. And so I'm learning how to be a better practitioner much faster.
Definitely.
So it's definitely, I've been benefiting quite a bit from this whole process.
Definitely.
Yeah, just to say that as one who was here 6 months ago, that was one of the most, it actually brought me to tears. One of the most moving moments for me was when one of the residents came up to me, and he was the second man that I had worked on when I was here before. So it was at the fledgling stage, and it was kind of hit or miss, and hope that I was doing it right, and plus the pressure of the video and all of that. And I didn't realise until afterwards that in a follow-up testimonial that he had said that his wife had actually committed suicide, and he didn't even cry then. He couldn't cry then, and he had cried in my session, and I didn't realise the full impact of that. So that was very big. But then what happened when I got here was that I was in two days in, and he came up to me and said he was so glad to see me, and he looked so different. He really looked so, just his face looked so clear, and that he had moved up within habilitat. And he just said to me, you gave me my freedom. And it was just, if I only, among all the other nuggets, golden nuggets that I have experienced this week, that has to be one of the most pivotal ones. And I'm so very, very grateful for that opportunity.
And I'll tell you another thing, too, is that we were here 6 months ago, and some of the guys we worked on, I'm asking, all right, is it there now? It's 6 months. Is it there? And it's gone. I mean, that's the question people ask. All right, you worked on them. All right, sure. How long does it last? Well, it's been 6 months. We go back to the drug. We go back. Can you find it? And the answer is no. I mean, that's proof in the pudding right there.
And the smile on his face. The smile on his face when Robert uncovered the tray of paraphernalia, and he looked at it, because I sat in that interview, and he looked at it, and he just smiled. And Robert said, "Are you triggered?" And he's like, "No, man. Not at all," and it feels fantastic.
Yeah.
That was actually where Robin went out to have a session with him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so what actually happened, he was the only one who said that when the truck pulls up, what do you do? And he went, call the cops. And then Robin went out to do the session with him, and he came in after half an hour. There was nothing there. He had nothing to work on.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And he looked very happy.
Yeah,
He was happy all day when we went out on our trip.
Yeah.
He was just like jumping around and having a great time with us, and he was just happy, joyful.
Very good. Big changes.
The only way is up.
And I'll tell you another thing, too, is like, for me, I've been working with several people, but one person I've been working with was severe physical, emotional, sexual, drug, cutting, abuse. And this is a big one, it's really gigantic. And of course, when I first started, the emotional trauma was from here screaming, which I think you heard her screaming from the other room, with emotional tears and pain. The first session, and then the second session is like this, the third session is like this. And we just went back and going back, and it's a big stuff, and you can tell that she's acting differently and feeling differently. And then, of course, another one that really was really good, and it touched me because, you know, this guy he was a good, you know, he was a husband, he was a father-to-be, and he went out on duty, you know, military duty, and all his buddies, you know, his buddy got blew up in front of him and dragging half of his body and killing people, feeling bad about killing people, doing his job. And he came back and of course he has his son, and his son doesn't have anything to do with him because he doesn't know him. And he's feeling rejected, and he's feeling not good enough, and his wife's saying, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" You know, he says, oh, nothing, you know, and then they send him back out again. More killing, more bad stuff. His buddy's killed, and he comes back, and she says, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" And so he went and visited a friend. You know, he didn't use drugs. He went and visited a friend, and his friend's on ice, and he's all happy and all smiling, all this stuff. And he said, I used to be like that. And he started using because he wanted to make his wife happy. He wanted to have that happiness, that cheery person who witnessed things, who didn't know how to let it go. And the next thing you know, it escalates. He stole, he divorced, all the stuff, and now he's here. Because for me, I mean, I'm having tears. I mean, I'm listening to a story, and I'm thinking, yeah, I understand. But it doesn't change the fact. He still took the drug. The motivating factor, I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted to get my old self back. And see, that's the key. If we can go in and these individuals, every one of us, you know, we're working with people, we're working with what? Pain, hurt, feeling and not good enough, grief and loss, trauma. And that's what drives them to use. And if we can come in and we can change the driving force, the emotional driving force, that they use drug to numb it, and it's not there, and we change the emotional association of the drug, I think when they leave here, they have a greater chance of not ever coming back. And I think, I mean, I'm so proud of you guys, and thank you so much for being a part of this and helping us change the world, you know. And thank, you know, Robin. I'm so proud of Robin. He's doing a great job. He's working through it. He's going to come out on top. He is on top. And, you know, I can still see the tears on his face when this guy, he shares his life, and he's so excited that he helped do this. And so we're going to do it again. I think we can make this a, you know, twice a year event, bring new practitioners, come in and train them and help change the world here in habilitat. And who knows how big this is really going to get. This is the real work. Thank you guys, and thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. Like this, guys. Tap, 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 tap. We're tappers.